everyone, and welcome to the first reading wrap-up of 2016. I'm Ben from Benjamin of Tomes, and I'm here today with my jumper on. It's bright, it's cold, and I'm allergic to cats. And I'm here wrapping up the books that I read in January. I read 7 books, which is really good considering that I have no reading goals this year whatsoever, and I'm just reading for pleasure, like the good old days. And I've read 7 really amazing books, some which I have some mixed views about. So I'm gonna crack on with this review and kind of go through them with you. Stick around to the end if you want to know some exciting news regarding me and my publishing company. So yes, stick around and let's go. First book I read this year was Half Lost by Sally Green. This was an absolutely fantastic end to the series. This is book 3 in the Half Bad trilogy, for those who don't know. And yes, I just absolutely loved it. It was just a fantastic read. And I can't review this one in detail because obviously it's a spoiler, but let me just tell you that this book had heartbreak in, had magic in, had fantastic elements in, and if you like witches and modern day dystopian books, then definitely check out the Half Bad trilogy, okay? Okay. The next book I read was Ice Like Fire by Sarah Rash. This was a fantastic sequel to Snow Like Ashes, which I read last year. It is an epic fantasy book about kingdoms based on seasons and rhythms, and about this girl who didn't know she was royalty, and then she turned out to be royalty from this broken kingdom called the Winter Kingdom, and it's just fantastic. And this sequel's fantastic, and it was more action-packed and more magic and more courtly intrigue, which I absolutely loved. So obviously I can't review this in detail because of the fact that I will spoil for the series, but it's just a fantastic series. If you like epic fantasy books, then definitely check out Snow Like Ashes and Ice Like Fire. So good, and I can't wait to see the cover of the third one. And I think the third one actually has a title as well. I can't remember it though. I also read next was Elementals. Wow, you can hardly see it because the white balance, but Beauty Uru. Elementals by Michelle Maddow, The Prophecy of Shadows, which is the first book in the Elementals series, and this book is gods and also witches. It's about this girl moving to this new town. She goes to school, she walks into the classroom, and she literally walks into like the craziest thing, and there's an illusion up on the board that shatters, and she's like, what the hell is going on? And everyone's like, we're witches, you're a witch too, and she's like, you're all really messed up, and I'm not a witch, and no, witches aren't real. But then it turns out that witches are real, and she is a witch, and the witches in this world are connected to Greek gods, and then underneath the comet 6 of them connect, and they all learn to be able to control an ability. Control an element. Elementals by Michelle Maddow. Go and check this out. It actually was so good. This was a 4.5 stars for me. Loved it. Wow, my hair's floppy. So I read this month, Soundless by Michelle Mead. This is a really interesting, unique book set in the hills of this, I can't say Japanese or Chinese settlement, or everyone can't hear, and then some are losing their sight, and it's just like a really unique story. A standalone 3.54 stars for me. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't like the Vampire Academy series, but I think that's because it's a completely different thing, and we really shouldn't compare it to the Vampire Academy series because it is a very different story. So I actually really did enjoy it for what it was. I just had a few issues with it, like the insta-love and all that stuff, but I found it really interesting reading a book from the perspective of somebody who can't hear. So there's no speaking, there's no talking in the book, it's all actions, and then there are speaking and actions and stuff, and then it goes crazy. But there's like Japanese mythological creature in this, which I really love. My Read With Ben book of the month was Curio by Evangeline Denmark. This was a really interesting book, a bit of a steampunky Wizard of Oz Emerald City vibe, and it's kind of like a futuristic where these chemists run the world by giving people these potions, and they can only live off them because it's like their medicine, and if they don't have these potions they won't survive. But this one girl doesn't need the potion, and then she kind of goes into this really weird kind of side world, and it was a really interesting read. 4 out of 5 stars for me, and I really did enjoy it. I'm really looking forward to the sequel to kind of get into the story a bit more and find out what's going on. Evangeline Denmark has got a really interesting writing style, and this is a really fantastic debut for her, and I'm throwing the book around. So yes, I really enjoyed Curio by Evangeline Denmark. Next book I read, which, okay, a lot of people might get really annoyed at me, but bearing in mind, backstory, I've been excited about this book since I found out about it in May, on May the 30th, on my birthday, because that's when it was kind of like shown at BookCon, and I was really excited about it, and I have been excited about it ever since, almost a year down the line, like 3/4 of a year, obsessed with this story, searching, researching everything, and it just didn't live up to my expectation. I did enjoy it, and I found it really interesting, and I will read the sequel, but it just wasn't in my mind. I feel like I built up the expectations too much in my head, so I'm a bit sad, so let me know if you had the same thing. But that book is Truthwitch by Susan Dennard. I just it was such a good read, but for me, 3.5 stars. There was just things missing. It wasn't what I thought it would be, but I believe, like, with it being fantasy and with it being quite an epic fantasy, I think it needed this first book to get into it, and I think the sequel is going to be so good. So I am really looking forward to reading the sequel. But yeah, it was a really good read, and I want you all to go and read it and check it out for yourselves. For me, I just stupidly built it up in my head to be like Aang the Avatar, really Aang the Avatar, and it wasn't really Aang the Avatar. And I got a bit confused with all the witches and all their powers and stuff, and I kind of would like want like a layout. I wish they put in the book like a Truthwitch is this, a Threadwitch is this, like just for clarification. But it's kind of like the best mashup of the Grisha trilogy and Aang the Avatar. So yes, I really enjoyed it. But yes, go and check it out, Truthwitch. And last but not least, I read a bit of an indie book, and this is Anabeth Never Ending by Layla Kadadam. And this book is like, it's based in modern day, but this girl has dreams ever since she buys this necklace at this like car boot sale thing. She has dreams of this girl in ancient Egypt, and it turns out that she's her reincarnation and they're connected. And then this boy comes into the scene who's also in her dreams, and then the boy's brother's in her dreams, and she can't decide who she loves, and in her dreams she loves one person and in real life she loves another, and it's like this evil guy's there, and it's like magic and Egyptian mythology, and it's so interesting and so much fun. So yes, Anabeth Never Ending by Layla Kadadam. This was a great book to read. So there you have it. They're all the books that I read in January. So moving on to my announcement for my publishing company. I recently launched the cover of Gabriel and the Swallows by Esther Dalseno, the biggest spring release for Off Tones Publishing this year, and I'm going to show you the cover here. This book is now available for pre-order on Kindle, and if you do pre-order it, you can enter to win a massive poster, which is this poster, but it's massive, and it's signed by the author. Also, every single person will be sent a signed postcard from the author as well. I will leave the Goodreads page so you can see more information down below, but yes, if that's something you're interested in, then that would be amazing. There is also this campaign thing I'm running where I'd love you guys to all set up. We've currently got over 100 people set up, and that's over our goal, which was 100 people. But yes, down below I'm going to leave the Thunderclap link, so if you can go and support and link up your social medias to it, it would be so helpful and very supportive to me. So thanks so much for watching this video. I'll see you again another time.